Hello, everybody. I'm Jesse Waters, along with Kimberly Guilfoyle, Jessica Tarlov, Jillian Turner, and Greg Gutfeld. It's 5 o'clock in New York City, and this is The Five. Thanks for joining us on this day after Thanksgiving. And now it's time for the fastest Thanksgiving recap. Black Friday chaos, Thanksgiving protests, and more. But first up, all of you at home are probably nursing your turkey hangover right now, and we hope you had a great holiday with your friends and family. But we're going to go take it around the table to see how the Five celebrated. Let's start with you, Greg.
Well, it was quite possibly one of the greatest Thanksgivings I've ever had. You know, I only have celebrities as friends because they make the best friends, so I can't show any real pictures of what we did because they'd be upset, especially George. But here's my first picture. I watched a lot of Fox, especially only when Leland Vitter's on, because his hair is amazing. If you look at that hair, it's almost like just a black helmet.
Best hair in the business.
It's the best hair. And then I had some guests. I had this fella came over later. He wasn't green when he got there, but by the end of the night, he was green. Then this guy showed up right here, landed on my roof, brought him in.
Beautiful.
Yeah, quite beautiful. And then this woman just happened to be sitting in the corner.
Is that your aunt?
I have no idea who she is.
Not related.
She is. And then later, do we have this? This is my collection of rubber duckies because on Thanksgiving, I just have one long bubble bath. And then finally, I was able to program my Roomba to deliver my booze to me. Here it is, coming, delivering my glass of Chardonnay, which I'm not a big fan of.
And that's not even an internet hack, right?
I know, but what my Roomba doesn't know.
Well,
what, I'm going to punish the Roomba?
I thought you would train it to deliver your Pinot Noir.
My Roomba does not see wine color.
Not like a cab or anything. You went with the Chardonnay. Very masculine, Gutfeld.
What does that mean?
Jillian, what about
Kimberly's
you?
like, Greg, you need to return that Roomba.
Exactly.
Fired. So my family is celebrating on Saturday this year.
Okay.
That's tomorrow. So we haven't celebrated Thanksgiving yet. So instead, I thought I would bring you some photos of Olivia and her best. This is Olivia 2 years ago, pre-turkey. She's looking lovingly. This is last year, right before the turkey, so we've got before and after.
Okay.
It's the after from 2 years ago.
You really are going after Dana's...
It is.
2 years ago.
You don't have to do this.
When you sit in this seat, and then this is Olivia now looking forward to Christmas. She's really excited. That's her boyfriend.
Oh, very nice.
Oh, I didn't know I even sent that one.
Very cute. Okay. And you, Jessica?
And welcome to the Five.
Oh, thank you. Very excited to be here.
This is your first time.
It is my
Don't
first time.
screw it up.
Thank you, Greg. That's super helpful. So I'm from New York City, so I was at home with my family. My sister and my new brother-in-law got back from their honeymoon the night before, so we talked a lot about their trip. But we were just at home. I only have a couple shots. We're not a massive photo family. So wanted to share this one. This is my mother and my sister's golden doodle who have the same hair.
Oh.
And you can't usually tell them apart, but the human one, taller one is her. And
The human one.
And then my dad, who's an amazing cook, went to cooking school, makes his own bread. So I wanted to show everyone that that is going on at Tarlov HQ.
Very needy individual.
Oh, look at that.
Didn't know he was a baker.
He is a baker.
So watch the Thanksgiving Day parade, you know, with family and friends, and that was very nice because you can see the whole thing right from where I was.
Undisclosed location.
Undisclosed location.
Please don't show up.
I'm just surprised I didn't out your exact address.
Exactly. And then we had a wonderful Thanksgiving dinner with my son and his father and his parents, Rona's grandparents, and it was super fun. We had the best time, and my friend Ann came, so roped her into the whole thing.
That's great.
No pictures?
No pictures, Greg.
Oh, you're like me.
That would reveal my location.
Exactly.
And all the celebrities.
All the celebrities.
Delicious restaurant.
Very good. I was with my family, and my mother, when I got there, gave me a Make America Green Again bumper sticker. And talked a lot about Gutfeld, as a matter of fact, but she says your name is Gutfield. She doesn't know how to pronounce your name. And she did not like how Trump did the turkey pardon. She thought that was insensitive because he joked about revoking the Obama turkey pardon and thought that was mean and nasty and carried on quite a bit about that. And had a lot of things to say about Al Franken, which I promised I would not share with the audience. All right, next Black Friday Madness is officially in full swing on this, the busiest shopping day of the year. Some frantic bargain hunters are coming to blows over the best deals. Check out these two brawls that happened earlier.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Now, I don't know if you guys can see this at home, but I sustained a little Black Friday injury here on my head, wrestling a television away from an angry father at Best Buy, and we just have a little Band-Aid, so I'm okay.
Is that a true story? Did you have another,
Not a true
like,
story.
skin thing,
Not
thing
a true
removed?
story.
Okay.
It's much more embarrassing than that I'm not also going to disclose. Gutfeld, these people are crazy.
This is if you ever want to argue against capitalism, show those pictures, because it is just like, and 99% of these people don't even want that product. It's because what happens is you don't want the product, so they lower the price, so you decide maybe you do want it, but you really don't want it, or else you would have already purchased it. You wouldn't have waited and then fight. By the way, the worst part about this is every day should be black. I don't know why it has to be Black Friday. I think that's weird. I think we should replace all holiday music with goth music. Holiday goth music, Sisters of Mercy, Peter Murphy. Do it. Let's just make every day black.
Okay, that's why you're not in charge, Gutfeld.
Yes.
That's why
One day I will
not
be.
your segment.
What?
This is why this is not your segment.
Yes, that's true.
But don't they have like Cyber Monday, and can't you get all these same deals on the internet?
All right, the truth. Are you ready?
Yes.
Bring it.
Okay, every day from today until January 1st is going to be the same. There will be massive sales. I think Black Friday is dead.
It's over.
Like you heard it here first on the 5.
Okay.
Black Friday is dead. It's all a lie. From here going forward, everything is massively discounted.
Okay.
So this is fake news.
This segment is fake news.
Okay, well, it makes sense that I'm hosting it. Jessica, you would not
Never
be
a
caught
true
dead in one of
statement.
these department stores, I can imagine.
No, I absolutely would.
You would?
I love Best Buy.
Is that
I
you
don't
right there?
I thought you meant that. I'm like,
Yes,
yeah,
that's
Jessica,
right.
obviously. Oh, look at that. Fantastic. I dress like that guy. No, I love going into Best Buy and running around. I did not pick up a TV today, but they now hook you with the emails early,
Oh,
where they
that's
say,
right.
oh, it's starting. This is early Black Friday. It's already 90% off, and then 90% off on top of the 90% off, and all of that. So I did some online shopping, but no in-person brawling.
And Kimberly has everything money can buy, so she doesn't need to do any shopping on Black Friday.
Well, you know, it's just like any other day of the year. You know, like when you have Amazon, it's kind of like, aren't there always good deals,
Exactly.
and free shipping, and blah, blah, blah. So far, all I've purchased was somehow my son put it in the cart, the Nintendo Switch thing or something. I don't know.
You've already
I'm like,
made
these
a
gifts
purchase.
keep on coming. You have to wait for this for Christmas. And then 2 bathing suits.
Maybe this
nice.
is a good thing, because if technology is eliminating our ability to fight, that this is a good thing to remind us how to fight, that this is important because we're too busy at home ordering things. It's good one day of the year to go out and fight to the death.
Get back to our roots.
Yeah, get to our roots.
I think you have no patience for that, Greg.
No.
Yeah.
I hide under a bed. The spritzer.
Heavily
With Lou?
discounted bed. And finally, yesterday was Thanksgiving, but that didn't stop some football players from continuing to be anti-American. Colin Kaepernick spent the holiday at the annual Un-Thanksgiving Day protest on Alcatraz Island.
Our fight is the same fight. We're all fighting for our justice, for our freedom. And realizing that we're in this fight together makes us all the more powerful.
But the former 49ers quarterback made a surprise appearance at the event, which commemorates the 19-month occupation of the notorious prison by Native American activists from 1969 to 71. You've been out to Alcatraz, I can imagine, no? And they actually do this every year?
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, but leave it to Colin Kaepernick to make it about himself and, like, try to ruin Thanksgiving. He's like the new Grinch that, like, stole Thanksgiving. Now he's going to probably move on to Christmas, help ruin the NFL, drove the ratings down, also the profits. I mean, wow. When you see him coming, just run the other way.
That's right.
Like Bad News Bears.
There you go. What do you
Without the
think?
wings.
I don't know if I'd run the other way, per se.
Yeah?
I do think this
Just
is...
tackle him.
Unless he was throwing you the ball.
That's right.
I would not also be able to catch that if he was throwing me the ball. I think this is an exceptionally bad PR move for Colin Kaepernick after he got the GQ Citizen of the Year award. I thought it was a great opportunity to, I guess, be more useful to people on both sides, to make them understand what the kneeling is actually about and what that all stands for, and also to be respectful of American traditions and things that are of value to a lot of people. So I didn't think this was a great thing, though I also didn't know that it happened every year. So that's a bonus that I learned something new.
There we go. He's clearly going all in, Jillian.
Well, here's the problem. I think if you want to fight and try and give a voice to Native American Indian activists, that's fine. But you can't fight everything all at once in 1 year. You can't fight the flag and the national anthem and Thanksgiving. Like, he's taking on too much, in my opinion.
Spreading himself too thin.
He's spreading himself too thin. It's not a good move.
He's a Mr. Potato Head social justice warrior. He just changes depending on the cause. I guess I'll be for Native Americans this time.
True.
But you know what? The real sin is he chose Alcatraz over alcohol. Thanksgiving's about alcohol. But you know who had a miserable Thanksgiving?
What?
Eminem. And the reason why, he did an interview, he's enraged that Donald Trump has not responded to his angry rap. And therein lies the solution, that if you do not respond to this, Colin Kaepernick will fade into certain obscurity. The more that we talk about it, the more he gets out of this. So, like, Eminem is so upset because Trump will not even acknowledge that rap. And that is the best kind of that's the best kind of revenge.
And it shows that he wanted the attention.
Right.
That was the only reason.
He's jealous of LeVar Ball.
Exactly.
This is the problem. He's like, what about me? I'm over here.
LeVar Ball for president.
He needs to, Eminem needs to learn how to tweet.
That's right.
LeVar Ball,
got a
2020 Democrat candidate.
He's like, I wouldn't have thanked the president either, okay?
Yeah.
What about me?
All right, coming up, more Thanksgiving madness as President Trump spends Thanksgiving touting the success of America in his message to the troops. But some Democrats insist on ripping his achievements so far. We'll have more when the 5 returns.
While spending Thanksgiving at Mar-a-Lago in Florida yesterday, President Trump delivered this special holiday message via satellite to the 5 branches of the military serving overseas, highlighting the success of America under his watch.
For each of you, I know it's hard to be away from home at this time of the year. We're doing well at home. The economy is doing really great. When you come back, you're going to see with the jobs and companies coming back into our country, and the stock market just hit a record high. Unemployment's the lowest it's been in 17 years. So you're fighting for something real. You're fighting for something good. Now we're working on tax cuts, big, fat, beautiful tax cuts. And hopefully we'll get that, and then you're going to really see things happen.
But as you can imagine, the left would rather paint a picture of gloom and doom. Here's Bernie Sanders.
I don't have to tell anybody that from a political point of view, this has been a horrendous year. It appears that almost every day there is something coming out of the White House that is embarrassing, that is destructive, that is horrific. Our job now is we enjoy this holiday with our family and our friends, is not only to take on Trump's divisive actions, his desire to divide us up based on the color of our skin, or our sexual orientation, or where we were born, or our religion, or whatever. Not only do we have to take them on, we have to do something else. And that is move this country forward.
The president, not one to shy away from his critics, tweeted about his busy schedule today, quote, after turkey call, I will be heading over to Trump National Golf Club, Jupiter, to play golf quickly with Tiger Woods and Dustin Johnson. Then back to Mar-a-Lago for talks on bringing even more jobs and companies back to the USA. Now, he is very considerate to golf quickly, and that is not easy to do.
Because Tiger Woods loves to do it
again,
quickly.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's just yet again an example of his greatness, Jesse, right?
That's right. And I'm sure he scored better than Tiger. And he'll probably tell everybody he did. Listen, I think there's a huge difference in these two people. Trump came out and said what was going well in America in the people's lives, the stock market, unemployment, jobs. And listen to what Bernie Sanders said. He said, from a political point of view, everything's a disaster. So he's just talking about politics. And from a political point of view, I agree. It's been a disaster for the Democrats. They've had a terrible year. He also made me fall asleep listening to him. He looks very comfortable. And I love everything looks gray. His hair, the sweater, the background. This is the leader of the Democratic Party. This is the leader of tomorrow. And I can't imagine the Democrats can be thankful for Bernie Sanders because, listen, the guy does not scream fresh when you watch, when walking and talk like that. The guy is I think his best days are behind him.
Okay, and also thinking the military, which is very important. Now, Greg, I've noticed something peculiar.
What?
Not just about you. No, no,
Oh,
no.
good.
It looked like Bernie has one of your sweaters.
That's true. You know, I was missing that gray one, and you better
The
get it dry
blasé
clean.
gray?
I don't want that, you know, that unusual socialist odor on it. You know, this comparison reflects the prison of two ideas. You know, we're you know, in the media, we're expected to be one way or the other. You're either on the Trump train or you think he's evil. And it creates this delusion that Scott Adams talks about, the two movie phenomenon, where America is experiencing the same material, but they're seeing two entirely different movies. They see Trump as evil. Everybody else says, hey, things are pretty good. The fact is, the thing that makes me laugh, especially living in New York, an educated person on the coasts who can constantly go about predicting a Trump apocalypse, a Trump-caused apocalypse, will still go home back to a hip wine bar, peck at his iPhone, check his 401k, and watch prices fall on technology that 15 years ago a king wouldn't be able to get. The things are pretty good, and it's reality, as you were saying. In their face, there is no apocalypse. Things are pretty good. But in their head, they're seeing an entirely different film, and everything's going to come crashing down, and the Earth is going to burst into a ball of flames.
A Trumpocalypse?
As red as your hair.
A Trumpocalypse.
A Trumpocalypse. Yeah. Very good.
We should
good,
play
right?
a drinking game every time you mention Scott Adams.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think almost every show, right?
almost every show.
Every
It's
other show.
unbelievable.
Paying you?
Someone's going to
I'm on
start
retainer.
keeping track of this, Greg. Let me tell you.
He was right about Trump for nobody listened.
Well, and there we go. Okay, so two different
Including
kind of worldviews.
Two different worldviews. Quickly, I want to ding on both sides. I really don't think President Trump's message was all, I think it had elements that were positive, but he was also kind of a downer.
No.
First of all,
How?
at 7 p.m. last night, he tweeted about the Affordable Care Act. This is as families are sitting down to dinner. And how crappy Obamacare
But that'd be a
was.
President Obama
That's
downer.
not really the
because
Thanksgiving
he built
spirit.
that.
But also with record signups.
But also, he also said, and I wrote this down so I'd remember, he said to troops in Afghanistan, everybody's talking about the progress you've made in the last few months since I opened it up. Now, he also said to troops in Iraq, they weren't letting you in before. Now, this is demoralizing for service members who are there today, many of them who lost friends and colleagues over the last few years, many of them who are actually serving tours of duty during the Obama administration.
Do you think they take it that way?
You can't tell these young men and women that their own country set them up to fail.
Do you think that they're taking it that way?
Absolutely.
Or when I hear that, I hear like, look, I'm making it easier for you to fight this battle.
But they
That's
were
what I heard.
also
My point is that it's
serving-
demoralizing. It serves President Trump's political purposes, but I fear it's demoralizing for those men.
And they were
I just-
serving and fighting just as hard under President Obama as they are under
But their
President
hands were
Trump.
tied, is the point he's making. Which
but
is
it's
true.
Not, I think that on Thanksgiving, the president has to do everything better than everybody else. I expected this from Bernie Sanders. I mean, you expect this from the opposition party. That could have been Mitch McConnell in that same outfit if Hillary had won, saying the same thing.
With the same slouch?
His posture is pretty decent, but yes, we'll give him the
He
slouch.
looked comfortable.
But when the President of the United States says anything that could be interpreted badly, especially by our service members, who he boasts about being the best for the military all the time and the most concerned, I think it's a problem. But I also want to say Bernie Sanders did make a key distinction.
What was it?
Where he... I will tell you. Where he actually didn't go into the policies that were problematic, because we know about the health care bill and the tax reform bill, which Democrats and a lot of Republicans think are not good for Americans. But he was talking about the vibe and the rhetoric and where the country is, that we're more divided than ever, and that that's a product of the White House. So I think it is a little bit more nuanced than it was just like, this is all terrible. It was
It's
like
so funny, though, as a
specific thing is
Democrat
terrible.
talking about divisiveness, they invented identity politics. They pushed that agenda instead of actually meeting the concerns of the American public about law and order, about terror, about border. Instead, they talked about pigment. They made pigment their politics. To the point about the military thing, this is an example of what the two movie scenario is. He says something, and one side says, oh, my God, that's demoralizing. And then the other side says, no, he's basically saying that he loosened the screws so they could get more done. People see two different movies after hearing the same thing. Mine's right, though.
But the president did mention his celebrity friends. in
Yes.
his tweet. You might want to tell him. Give him
Well, because
some
he
advice.
has real celebrity friends.
I have real celebrity friends.
Yeah, actually, you do. You have a couple.
Yes.
Who are they?
Directly
Lou
ahead.
Dobbs.
Lou Dobbs.
Lou Dobbs and
Kilmeade.
Kilmeade.
remember?
Well, he's not a celebrity.
Ooh, ouch.
I'm going to wrap
I
that
love his
up.
new
Yeah.
hairpiece, though.
Yeah, he was supposed to be here for you today. I guess, yeah. Shame. Al Franken says he's sorry again for sexual misconduct allegations, but is the Democrat senator's latest apology enough? Details when we return. Stay with us.
Al Franken is apologizing yet again for alleged inappropriate conduct as calls for his resignation continue to mount. This comes as 2 more women have emerged accusing the Minnesota Democrat of groping. Yesterday, the senator issued this statement saying, quote, "I'm a warm person. I hug people. I crossed a line for some women, and I know that any number is too many. I feel terribly about that I've made some women feel badly, and for that I am so sorry." A spokesman says that Senator Franken is expected to speak with the media about this controversy on Sunday. So I want to start with a question. Do apologies matter at all in this? Greg?
Yes. I mean,
As you're nodding along.
politics has turned this into a game of pervert chess. Like, we get their rook, we take their queen. If somebody...
Is Franken our queen?
Yeah, I don't know. If somebody says that they are sorry and means it, I'm inclined to always forgive because we all sin. You don't have to be religious to understand that there is redemption. And if somebody is truly sorry, you also have to put it in the sense of proportion and priority of the other accusations around. But I can't say that because that apology isn't for me and it isn't for you. It's for people like Kathy Lee Gifford. You know, his apology should be incredibly direct, very specific. It's not about greeting and shaking hands. It's about shoving your tongue down a throat of an unwilling participant. That's what this is about. So as a start for him this weekend, he should direct his apologies in a highly specific manner. And there might be people inclined to forgive him. I know Leanne Tweeden, she forgave him when he apologized to her, and that's a start. You can't do these meandering apologies where you go, I hope that, I'm sorry for the people who might have felt bad about what I did. No, you said, I really screwed up. I was a weirdo. I thought it was funny to shove my tongue down people's throat.
And Ariana Huffington said as well, defended him.
Yeah.
There's a picture
That was
circulating.
different.
Part of the problem is the apologies are not real apologies.
Yes.
They are statements in which these accused perpetrators are also making weak attempts to justify their behavior and explain how all of this makes them feel. So my pro tip to men who are guilty of sexual harassment and sexual assault is just stop with the statements, because I think they're actually hurting in a lot of cases more than they're helping. Charlie Rose, for example, Exhibit A, said he was, quote, embarrassed in his official statement by the claims brought against him. Well, guess what, Charlie Rose? No one cares how your predatory behavior made you feel. That's irrelevant to the conversation. Similarly, Louis C.K. issued a statement that was rambling all over the place, talking about rambling statements.
At least it was in character.
And he focused on how this was a learning experience for him.
I'm sure that
No
will be
one
in his
cares.
special that'll
That is
come out
not
in
the
2
point.
years.
As Greg said, apologize specifically to your victim and leave it at that. Otherwise, I think
the problem is they
issue
don't know what
statements.
victims are coming out the next day. And that's what's going on here, because it starts as 1, then we shoot up to 4, and who knows, there could be 2 more gropings by the end of the week.
He should have a bit of an idea. Right? I mean, in terms of
take a lot of photos.
Right. Well, but in terms of the conduct and what he's done, and so look, he's apologized. It said hopefully people learn from this, and including women to come forward and say if something has happened to them. It helps other women when you do that to understand and to feel courageous to be able to identify people like this that are behaving inappropriately and disrespectfully to women. I mean, so much for him running for president.
Oh, Dana's prediction. She blew that one.
Well, we don't know. Rehabilitation happens.
She's been right
That's
about
true.
a lot.
Yeah, I'd love to see Franken run for president. I think Franken Trump
Especially
is a
now.
great
Franken Trump.
matchup. I think his PR team is slick. And you first saw the slickness on the first one where they said, I don't think she remembers it the way I remember it. He's still kind of victim blaming.
Yeah.
And now he's insulating himself against future claims where he says, I've taken thousands of photographs and hugged so many women. That's also saying that what I'm doing is not groping, it's hugging. See how slick that is? So that insulates himself now further. I don't believe he will resign.
No.
I don't think there's a chance. And the Democrats have a problem now because they're going to be asked about Franken every time they shoot across the other side of the aisle. And you talked about the other day about there's no courtroom to judge all of these different things. And maybe for politicians, the courtroom is Election Day.
Yeah.
Well,
Let
that's
the
far
voters
away.
decide, and that's how they're going to do it. And as much as it pains me to say that, Gutfeld does continue to make a good point about this, that should be a spectrum here. And because there's no spectrum, it's going to now, he's lumped in with everybody else.
Right.
But when you look at what he's done compared to other people, maybe this is a survivable deal for a politician.
I think that it may be. We need that spectrum. Coming up next, if Santa brought your kid a paper airplane or the game Clue for Christmas, would they be happy? Would they even know what they are? Why they may be the better alternatives to this year's hottest toys. Welcome back. While kids across the world are writing their Christmas lists, asking Santa for some of this year's hottest games, like fidget spinners, Hatchimals, and the Nintendo Switch, some classics were also just inducted into the National Toy Hall of Fame. They include paper airplanes, the board game Clue, and the wiffle ball. Aren't those like 100 years old? So what do my fellow Fivers think of 2017's newest inductees? Greg, you have more toys than anyone else here.
Yes. Well, who doesn't love
What do you make of these inductees?
Not much. Who doesn't love a good lawn dart? I think that was always my favorite toy, but then they banned them. Look, the greatest toy of all is your imagination. Thank you. You could have your Frisbee or your wiffle ball, but you have no idea what games I'm playing inside my head.
Oh, we do.
And they are horrible and strange, and they never end, Kimberly. They make it stop.
I just want you to get out of my tree outside my window.
You know, all these guys at home are like, right, there's a tree outside.
There's a tree.
Well, after
He must live in a leafy part of New
You
York.
laugh. He used to always make a joke about that, and then everyone's like, "Whoa, where's the tree?" Blah blah. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Okay."
Can't make that joke anymore.
No, I can't.
Kimberly,
Sadly.
what do you think? Do you like these inductees?
Yeah,
I'm
I
like
think
a little man.
No, I love wiffle ball. I think it's fun because you can play in backyard. Don't worry about like breaking windows and so. And I love, I grew up playing sports and softball and baseball, so that's fun. Oh, and also the paper airplane. Now they have little foam styrofoam. It's like the best toy. Doesn't break anything as well, especially when you have boys. You think of this, and it doesn't. They're little boys or like a Jesse kind of boy, and they still like to play with them.
Paper airplanes,
I
they're
don't think
affordable.
paper airplanes, that's not a toy. That is a piece of paper that you fold and make.
It is a toy.
You
Use your
can't buy a
imagination.
paper airplane, so it's not a toy.
Oh, you have
Yes,
to
you
buy
can.
it in
I don't
order
know.
for it to be a real
They have
I think
wooden
so.
ones. They have styrofoam ones.
No, but they're
Okay,
talking about the
fine.
classic paper airplane.
Like the one you
which is-
just made.
Yeah, which is
Like-
made from a dead tree, I might add, America.
Not very environmentally
That's
friendly.
right.
Jessica, what do you think of the inductees?
I think that they're fine, albeit the paper airplane was confusing to me. So I went back and looked at the whole list to see when Barbie got in, which was one of my favorites,
Ooh,
and
do tell.
Slinky, which got in
You
2000.
like Barbie? That's kind of, I don't know, cisgender of you.
What?
Go ahead, sorry.
It happens.
Cisgender.
The
Everyone's
other,
looking
we'll get
that
into
up
that in
now,
the segment, but the thing, to your point about this paper airplane, I saw that
Here's one.
Stick was inducted in
Perfect.
2008. Just a
Anybody can
stick.
have
Oh,
That's pretty
nice.
good.
All right,
form.
so I want to just get your thoughts quickly. Consumer advocates are also warning about choking hazards that are in like all these toys now, and tech-savvy toys that are actually spying on kids. Like anything that connects to the internet,
it's like the
anything that has
Roomba.
Bluetooth. Your Roomba is definitely spying on you. Be careful, watch him.
I like it when the
the
Roomba watches.
Roomba's going to get a
Anyway.
lawyer soon.
Every toy can be a choking hazard. Army Men could be a choking hazard. I loved Army Men. You remember you get the bag of Army Men? That was great. And I don't
Army
know.
people.
Army people, I'm sorry.
Both genders are serving.
Have
Yes.
any of Greg Gutfeld's unicorns ever tried to choke you or spied on you?
No, I don't let
Are you
unicorns
sure?
near me.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am sure. And these Hatchables, I see that they're now
No, Hatchimals.
Hatchimals. Oh, I thought they were Hatchables.
No.
Yeah, my daughters have those, and they're
you don't
genius
even know their
because
names?
you have to buy thousands of them. That's the key to making a good toy. One that you're just not satisfied buying one time. You have to buy the whole collection.
That's like Beanie Babies.
Right.
Was like that when I was growing up.
Well, like American Girl dolls, those are very popular.
Right, and then you
So
take them to the American
Where are the
Girl
American
store.
boy dolls? Where are they?
They must be
They
here
have-
now.
And why do they have to be boy and girl? Why?
Purple
What's wrong with
penguins.
you?
Purple
We're
penguins.
perpetuating sexism and cisgender values. It makes me sick.
Well, you're not, because you love unicorns.
That is true.
Well, why don't you take a break, Greg? Calm yourself down.
I will.
All right, we're going to go to break. Stick with us at home because Facebook Friday is coming up next, and it's the best part of the show.
Is it really?
It's my favorite.
Because the good long lasting
Good old days, bubble yum. You could choke on that stuff. All right, Facebook Friday. Susan M. asked a very important question. What electronic or form of technology would you be willing to give up for a month and keep it clean? All right. Jillian?
Buy iPhone.
Really?
I would just like
No
dive in
way.
and do it. Yes, I've done it for like a week before, and it was the best week of my whole life.
Really? Really? And probably for other people, too. Because you annoy the heck out of them. Jesse?
I could give
Greg.
up TV. I could easily give up television.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd still have to watch The Five, but besides that, and Fox and Friends.
He has to watch himself.
How could you watch The Five? How could you watch?
He got
I
the month
DVR
off.
it.
What do you say?
Sorry. I DVR it.
I
That's how
love
you
that,
watch it.
catching himself. Wait, this is the industry I'm in. I'd give up TV.
But you shouldn't.
Yes. Jessica?
Yes.
I think my iPad, which I don't love, admittedly, but I'm trying to like more, so I feel like it would still be a loss.
Kimberly?
Yeah, iPad, computer. I would definitely not want to give up my phone. Nope.
I'd give up abacus.
What?
My abacus.
Your electronic abacus?
Yes. I have one. Doesn't everybody have
But
one?
not your Discman.
No, never. Not in a
Because
million
he's beautiful
years.
minds.
There you go.
Abacus.
Marlena E. Ooh, this is also a very good question. If you could be a newscaster in any era, which era would it be? Jesse.
I'm going to go with today. Is that an option?
Yeah, I think that's an
Either
option.
today or the 70s. You know,
You'd be good at
Anchorman kind of guy.
Yes.
You know, with the butterfly collar and the maroon jackets.
And
I
the-
think I have a maroon jacket.
And the hospital
You do.
bracelet on the right arm. Jesse?
I told you I injured myself, and I'm wearing a hospital bracelet.
Too bad scissors weren't invented.
All right, I forgot.
Jessica, what era?
I'm going to go 40s. I think being a war newscaster covering World War II would be interesting. I guess late 30s, early 40s would be a great time, just for interest.
To do, all right.
KG?
So, what is it? What would you, I can't read from
You've
here.
already forgotten the question.
Wait,
So
it's
boring.
This is
I was
a
looking at his
6-minute
injury, and
segment.
to be honest, I was looking at his injury, and I was saying to myself, that is really small. Who goes to the hospital for something like that?
It was potentially a cosmetic disaster. Everybody can understand that, especially you. It could have scarred. It could have scarred. This is my livelihood.
He just
His face.
loves hitting some pot
It's
shots.
my moneymaker.
Paycheck is his face.
Okay.
Anyway, Kimberly,
That's
what
I can
era
see. Yeah.
would you like to be a newscaster in?
Oh, newscaster. Yeah, we'll be the same thing, probably back in the Ron Burgundy time. But then again, I feel like I'm there already because he does wear that coat that he has. So it's just,
is
you
a
know,
good
what
coat.
can I say? What can I say?
It's a good point. There isn't a lot of progress in newscasters.
Correct.
They're almost interchangeable by decade. People who are local newscasters, even national ones, are the same. Anyway, Jillian.
I would enjoy being a newscaster in the day before television, like when radio was in its infancy, and you got to, not only did you get to host the news, but you got to like make really cool sound effects at your desk.
Oh, that'd be really fun.
Yeah, right. Like,
yeah.
and the bombs were dropping.
Yeah,
You know, like you get to do everything yourself.
Like the War of the Worlds kind of
Yeah.
stuff with HG. You know, HG, no, Orson. Anyway, I would choose the witch trials. I'd shut that stuff down. I'd win a Pulitzer. I'd stop that stuff.
Yeah,
that was
that's
the
a good
first.
one.
You know, that's where the witch hunt started.
Yeah, fake
You know, the
news.
first witch hunt.
How would you stop it, though?
I would use my savvy journalistic integrity.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what I would do.
So you'd be out of luck.
You would do a
Everybody would
monologue
die, yes.
until
Ooh,
they burned him
you
at
know
the
what?
stake.
I'm going to go to you first, Kimberly,
Go.
because the question is from somebody named Kimberly. Ooh, and this is a tough question.
I didn't write it.
Do you owe anyone an apology? And if so, what are you waiting for?
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, no.
That's like a game show question.
No, I'm not sorry.
You're not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
She's
And
like-
also not sorry to Jesse.
No. Wow. Jesse, anybody you want to apologize to?
How long do we have?
That's an hour special coming up this
Yeah, I
weekend.
think we gotta go to commercial.
Yeah. Jillian?
I'll cede my time to Jesse.
No,
he needs
what,
it.
is this question that uncomfortable?
Well, what, like, what? Yeah.
All right,
I know.
Jessica. Anybody?
I mean,
We
we
could
can, do you
get
want us
better
to
questions.
make something up?
I could do it.
Go
I
ahead.
would apologize to the entire world.
All right, but
For
you're
everything that I've ever done, because I've annoyed more people per capita than any human being on the planet. I have made so many lives tedious.
okay. Well, what about
those things you
Lou
said about
Dobbs?
Jesse's
Apologize to Lou Dobbs.
I'm never
Producers
gonna-
agree with you.
I will.
Gutfeld.
What?
The producers agree with
Yes,
that statement.
I have to.
Oh.
My staff, the
Wait,
producers,
just
my
from
wife,
this show,
my
you
family.
owe like 5 people.
Dana?
What about Brian
Dana?
Kilmeade?
Start with the
Dana?
producers.
I will never apologize
Brian
to Kilmeade
Kilmeade,
after what
yes.
he did that weekend. All right, am I still going? Oh, this is a serious question. Chris B asks, if you were one of the founding fathers, who would you be and why? All right, who wants this one?
Me. There's only one answer.
Who?
George Washington.
Yeah, but everyone's going to pick that.
He had wooden teeth.
Because he got to be president?
Yeah, but would you take that and not have wooden teeth?
Yeah.
I would. I mean, you would have wooden teeth.
To be the first president of the United States
What
of
do you
America.
care if we had wooden
That is
teeth
the
or
only answer.
Bother me. I'd have a problem with wood in my mouth.
You should be less vain.
No, I'm not vain. It's just texture.
Yes.
You
Don't
sound
wood
like
in my
Jesse
mouth.
Waters.
Yes. Jesse.
Wow.
Founding
That was-
fathers?
I'm going to go Ben
Right.
Franklin.
Yeah, good guy. Slept in 2 beds. Did you know that?
Why?
He would get up from one bed and go to the other bed, and then he'd go to. And I'm presumably alone, but we knew he was a wild man. Ben Franklin. Yeah.
Maybe he liked cool sheets. And when one would get a little warm, you go pop into the cool sheets and slip in between them.
He invented electricity every night. Anyway,
Boy, that's static electricity.
Jessica.
You're good at that, too.
I was going to go Ben Franklin too, but going back to the last segment, I actually have a person who I would apologize to, a girl named Flannery, who I went to school
No, that
with.
was his laugh, not mine.
No, you look shocked. And I was mean to her in middle school. And
there you
I shouldn't
go.
have been. And she's a very successful cook right now, and obviously did not ruin her life
I think that's a
whatsoever. But I was
great
like
name.
a baby bully.
Flannery.
Wow, you're
Flannery.
Very nice.
See, I like people who admit that they bullied. Everybody claims that they were the bullied or that they were the person that stopped the bully. But when somebody says, "Yeah, I bullied," that's honesty.
It was just me.
Yeah, it's just you.
Yeah.
Kimberly.
I don't know. We already went to me first.
Oh, really? Did we hit everybody on this
president.
question?
What founding
I
father?
already said George
Washington.
Washington.
All right. I was going to say Sam Adams. Was he a founder?
Because he got a beer.
Yeah, but I can't remember. I skipped that part. I skipped a couple of grades for obvious reasons.
Oh,
One
my
more thing is up
God.
next.
You mean John Adams?
It's time now for one more thing. I'll go first. President Trump just tweeted this. Ready? Time magazine called to say that I was probably going to be named Man Person of the Year like last year, but I would have to agree to an interview and a major photo shoot. I said probably is no good and took a pass. Thanks anyway. Wow. What a tweet.
Well, he's always closing. So he's like, probably,
Yes, that's the
maybe?
president last year.
Okay.
All right, so probably. All right,